I'm just gonna talk. I don't feel good. And that's okay. But I can't lie about it. That doesn't feel good. I don't know where I am. I want to express this as earnestly and honestly as possible. And I'm aware that these videos are a lot easier to make when I feel like I have something helpful to say. But I don't. This whole channel, this whole thing, it doesn't have a point. As much as the mind would sometimes like to make believe that there's some kind of greater purpose to it, there isn't. I do trust that the purpose of it is itself. It serves its own existence and is a space that encourages public vulnerability. Just to be as vulnerable as possible. And while that doesn't always mean visible, you know, there's a certain intimacy in being naked alone in a room, and that is important. And then there's a different kind of intimacy that is being naked publicly and in a way that is not performative. I don't know what I'm trying to say, other than I'm certainly not a lighthouse right now. I feel like just a piece of seaweed or something, detritus, you know. It's almost the feeling like I don't even belong in the ocean. There's just the intense feeling of incorrectness, of not right, not being right, not as I am supposed to be or meant to be or something. Just not right. And the mind keeps sort of screaming about that. Sometimes it comes up with some sort of direction, some sort of action that it thinks that I should take that would fix the feeling of not rightness. And that can be anything. I mean, it's, you know, it just throws darts at a board. It goes, what about this? This would work. What about this? But there's also the deeper awareness that none of that would actually ultimately change this feeling, not in a lasting way. And there's a sadness in the recognition that The mind is its own source of suffering. That it seeks so desperately to escape itself. And, just, that even if it had everything that it asked for, if all the conditions were met, but it would still suffer. It would still be dissatisfied. And that just feels very sad right now. I don't have the bandwidth and the clarity to look at underlying stories, narratives, whatever. There's too much. It's too clustered in here. So I just wanna look at what's there, and I know that this mind also has a tendency to try to do the analysis, to try to find the underlying story, so that I can get away from the feeling. It knows too much. It knows that it's causing its own suffering, and that now it wants to try to stop itself from doing that, which just generates more. It feels very sad. It feels very desperate. And despairing. And I think I want to just tell the full story, that it's speaking right now, and not judge it or try to untangle it or even challenge it or move away from it, to just let it be seen in full. And that is the story of wrongness, of just feeling like not belonging, not fitting in a deep way that nothing on the surface could change. No matter how much the surface changed to try to appear as though it did belong, it never would, it's I just want to let that hurt. There's that feeling maybe of homesickness. Again, I'm wanting to just express it and not challenge it right now. There's a feeling of homesickness, of this isn't where I'm meant to be, or where I want to be, or where I belong. It's heavy. It's too heavy, and I feel too heavy, and I'm tired. I feel just really tired. I know I have. I've been trying. I've been trying to fit again. Trying to belong. Sometimes I do get excited about things and I enjoy them, but then they quickly can turn into something that means something else. I cling to the feeling of excitement or interest in a thing. And then I start trying to do that. I start trying to feel excited or interested, and it jams it all up. And that doesn't happen. I don't feel excited, and then I feel sad that the excitement isn't there, and the excitement for life, I know that the trying gets in the way, and then this becomes a frustration too, is I know what I know, and I get in my own way. I get in the way of it. I know that when I'm not trying anything, when I'm not trying to do anything, when I just let everything be, and if excitement is there, then it's there, and if it's not, then it's not. But everything has this sort of baseline level of acceptance and peace and satisfaction. I don't feel afraid of being disinterested because I'm just here, and actually here is kind of, it becomes interesting when I stop trying to make it be interesting. I know that that's what happens. Things unfold before me. They reveal themselves to me. Things are curious when I stop trying to poke and prod them and make them exciting. So there's a lot of frustration with myself, with my mind. I don't know, whatever. I'm tired of labels. I'm tired of labels. I'm tired of trying to understand things. I know I've been through this before, and so there's a big part of the mind that is like, why we did this again? Why are we back here again? We know better. We know better than this. That sort of thing. So all of this self-judgment and shame, and like I should know better, and to let this happen, to let the mind take over so completely that now I'm identified with it again, and I'm struggling to disidentify, and of course it's humbling, but it's frustrating. Yeah, there's a lot of shame. There's been so much shame the past 2 weeks. Shame, embarrassment. So there must have been pride somewhere. Yeah. At some point the mind started thinking that it knew things again, that it knew better. This phrase. Nothing can be known better. That's not a thing. That doesn't even make sense, but there's just better or worse. It's just known. There's no degree that is, and I guess I can let it in more deeply. That's, maybe there's that kind of better, but it's not like, it's just deeper. It's not better. It's all knowing. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know fucking anything. And so this is my reminder to myself that I don't actually know anything except what reveals itself to me. I'm not doing any knowing. Knowing is not a thing, an action that I can take. I can only receive what is offered to me. I can only receive, and I can ask and then trust what's received. But that's all I can do. I really can't do anything. I ask, and the asking happens pretty automatically. And then there's receiving. But I don't know anything. Like, there's no knowing that is some sort of, penetrative action. It's not an action. I only know what I receive. I have to ask. It's given to me. All of that is out of my hands. And then I receive it and I taste it. That's the only way anything can be known. That's the only way I know. And I think the mind is pretty embarrassed about that. It had, a great point of pride in its belief that it was able to know things. It could only ever know about things, and that really just means telling a story about them. It can't know anything directly. And it really believed that it could take knowing into its own hands, that knowing was something that it could accomplish, that it could set out to know and achieve that, and then sort of stack this pile of achievements, the achieved knowledge, up and feel protected by that, feel defined by it, feel embiggened by it, and none of that is really there. All of that is really just kind of made up stuff that doesn't matter or really mean anything. It's not actually helpful. I mean, there's some of it is interesting. The mind can certainly be an amazing tool when it comes to deciphering things. I don't know, puzzles and stuff, but it's not actually achieving anything. Nothing is being achieved. And it can't, pre-solve the next puzzle because of the last one that it solved. And none of that can be applied to actual experience. As much as it thinks it knows, as many puzzles as it can solve and try to stack them up and think that it's prepared for the next one, it's not. It can't ultimately know anything ahead of time. It can't. For everything that it thinks it knows, it cannot know ahead of time. It can't prepare. It can't foresee. I mean, sometimes it makes guesses and it gets pretty close. It, has a good guess, but a lot of times what happens is it sort of manipulates the circumstances in order to match the guess. It believes this is what should happen based on, the pattern, and then it subtly takes steps to try to make that happen so that the pattern is reinforced, and it is reinforced in its belief that it was able to predict something. And it does that a lot. It does that especially with things that it deems negative. It sees a pattern and it thinks something negative or unwanted in its definition is going to happen, and then it takes the steps to make sure that that thing happens so that it can say, see, I was right. And even though a thing that it didn't want to happen happened, it feels better about itself for having predicted that thing. It feels safer, it feels more secure in that than in allowing itself to be incorrect in its prediction, but letting something miraculous and beautiful and desirable happen. I see that. I'm fucking late for work and I really gotta just go inside as I pull in here, so this is gonna be it for me. There's probably, it doesn't fucking matter. It's just me talking to myself. So yeah, there's a lot of pain right now. It's a tough time. I'm having a hard time being here, and it is not because of circumstances externally. It's all in here. It's all just feeling, and that just further proves to me that it is not external circumstances that cause pain, that cause suffering like this. I mean, there's the pain of like, okay, somebody shot me. That's an external circumstance that is creating pain, yes, but all of the suffering, all of the misery is in here, and but it's also just wafting through. I don't know. I think there's just a lot of pain and fear, and that's what's happening right now, and I'm having a hell of a time accepting it. I'm not accepting it. So that's it. I'm just suffering. Yep. I still love you. Take it easy.